And then this one was obviously Joe Rogan.
Oh.
You know what that was as well?
No.
That was him doing an impression of Moose's fucking. Dude, he was doing like Moose mating calls. Welcome, finally. More technical difficulties, but fuck it. We move. We ball. You've been an integral. Oh, well, this is Streetflicker. Andrew, mate, good to have you.
Thanks, mate.
I'm fucking all over the place, so I'm going to be going on tangents. But you have a special place in the podcast heart because of when I first released my episode with Angus with Spook.
Yeah.
You popped up being like, Hamish and Andy mentioned.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. And I was just like, oh, that's a real one. That's a real
That's
one.
it.
Fuck
Hello,
yeah,
Hamish
dude.
and Andy podcast.
Dude, fucking love that shit.
It's the best podcast in
Oh no, dude! It just
Australia.
is. It's just not in the world, bro.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
I agree.
But anyway, we could pivot it back around to that. But straight off the rip, mate, I want to know, where'd Streetflicker come from?
Yeah, so Streetflicker originated, it was my photography alias, actually, for the longest time. Yeah, so from maybe like 2000 and, I'd say like 14 or 15, I found a niche where I really like street photography, which is basically
right.
taking your camera, going out on the street and taking photos of people out on the street, or whether it's an urban environment or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing that, just taking snapshots of candidacy around the city. I used to go into uni, when I went to uni at UTS, I'd always bring my camera, and I always had like breaks between lectures and shoots for like 3-4 hours. So what I'd do is I'd end up going out, taking photos.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so that's why Streetflicker.
Yeah, 100%. That makes so much fucking sense. That's such a cool little like pastime as well, especially like, you know, you're in between classes, especially like if you don't live in the city. Like I didn't grow up anywhere near the city. No,
same.
yeah. I mean, I think we had similar kind of experiences, just in like different directions.
Yeah.
And so like once you're in the city, you might as well take advantage of it, right?
That's exactly it. Like I used to be in like, I'd plan my day, I'd go in at 9 and I wouldn't leave until like the evening. Because it'd just not be worth it to leave like midday.
No.
I mean, like, I made all that effort to come in. I may as well, you know, make the most of my time. So,
100%. Where were some of the coolest places that you like to shoot? Were there any in particular kind of streets or spots that you really liked?
Yes. Back then, Chinatown was really bustling. So if I had no, you know, if I was like really lazy to walk anywhere, I'd always just go in that main strip of Chinatown, or just in all those side streets like Dixon Street or Sussex Street around there. There's always something happening.
That's right in the heart of it as well.
Yeah. And then when Barangaroo opens, I feel like I went there quite a bit. Like there was a lot of urban architecture and a lot of just people around all the time. But yeah, those were probably my 2 go-to spots.
Nice,
in the city.
Yeah, that's sick. I really respect photography as like an art form as well, because it's like I just find it's really cool just how you kind of capture like a moment. Yeah. You capture like your experience in that moment. I'm a fucking nerd for it. I fucking love it. I wish I could do it.
It's not too late, mate.
Yeah, dude, I could fucking try. But I mean, the furthest I got was you know that app Visco?
Oh yes,
fucking classic, dude.
Just smashing on like B5 or like M3, and like, yeah, that looks good.
Dude, I'm a fucking photographer, dude. That statue fucking bangs. That's fucking hilarious. That's sick. It makes a lot of sense. So like, when did you start off with that and then transition to DJing from that?
That's exactly what I did. So in like 2018 was when I transitioned over to music, but I had been clubbing in Sydney since 2012.
Oh wow, yeah,
so
right.
It's been a long time.
Like in terms of the bass scene.
Yeah. So my first ever club I ever went to was The Wall, and it was at World Bar.
Oh, I've heard a lot of shit about World Bar.
Yeah, so that really like paved the way for everything, and it was always a World Bar on Wednesdays and Chinese Laundry on Fridays, and that was basically my week to week for a lot of weeks. And in 2018, it was a running joke with my friends. So I always used to go clubbing with 2 mates, Daniel and Aiden. They're still around, and they're still kick. When I drag them out, they come out.
Oh, yeah, force them to. Grab them.
That's
Come
it.
with me.
That's it. But I used to go to clubs with them a lot.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, we joked around that we should get one of us one day to DJ at Chinese Laundry.
No shit, yeah.
And then literally like 2 weeks later, I bought my first controller, which was I think it was a Pioneer DDJ SB3. It was a Serato controller, really small.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was the DDJ 400, but
I was gonna say there's always like a split. It's like the same thing of like Ableton FL. It's like, are you 400s or you SVs?
Yeah. So I had SVs, and then that was it. And then I basically it started from there.
Fuck yeah. How did you kind of like work your way up in terms of like you've got your decks, you just started, you're learning. How did you get from there to bagging your first gig? What'd that look like?
Yeah. So it was really interesting. So when I first got them, I had no idea. I had an idea of what DJs did because I'd gone clubbing so much. I'd watched them.
Yeah.
I knew that you had a deck on one side and you had another deck on the other side, and you would, transition.
Do your
into
thing.
music.
Yeah.
And your EQs were there for you to manipulate, but I still had no idea.
Yeah.
The thing is, with me, I understood how music was structured.
Yes.
I was trained classically with piano from like the age of 5. So I understood how to count, what bars were, what keys were. So I had kind of like the theory behind it, but I had no idea what that meant when translated into software and like trying to transition across and everything.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my friend. So one of my closest friends that I grew up with is Blaine Stranger. We went to high school together.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, right.
And I basically asked him, I was like, how'd you DJ? And he sent me a voice note, 2 voice notes. I'm pretty sure it was either 2 or 3 voice notes.
Yeah.
And he basically explained to me what I needed to do. And it kind of clicked. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of get this now.
Yeah, it's enough.
And like the theory and then his voice note kind of like clicked together. I was like, I kind of get it.
Yeah,
I kind of get what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like I had watched so many YouTube videos. I watched so much stuff about how to DJ, but I just could not learn off that. I don't know why.
No, 100%.
And so from there, I got my first beat match, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I just kept going. I stuck to one genre. I always loved drum and bass. So I stuck with drum and bass from the beginning. And then the journey to get the gig. So my first ever gig was supporting Flowidus at The Wall at Wilbur.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. But the journey to get there. So my friends really wanted to check in on my progress. Yeah. And because I live so far out, like I'm in the Hills District, all my friends live like,
I feel like that's like, and this is also this is also before the metro.
Yes, this is before the metro.
Before the metro is like a different time out there. I had like a couple mates, even as close as like Castle Hill was just like, oh, dude, what? Are you serious?
Bus.
Don't fucking tell me to get a bus, dude.
So what I did instead was I set up a Twitch account and I would stream my DJ sets. Right. And I did this weekly. So every Monday night I would just load up the stream and then I would just play a set out. And in the first few times, I'd start planning my sets. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to play for 2 hours tonight. I'm going to play this and I'm going to get my friends to listen. Then eventually as I kept doing it, I started, actually, maybe I don't need to build a set every time. I started experimenting a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And then freestyling. And I eventually started just doing 3-hour, 4-hour streams every week, full freestyled for ages. And then over time, as I started to build a lot of confidence, I started slowly reaching out to the promoters at The Wall. And they knew me because I not only went to school with some of them, but I also went to attend The Wall, like,
100%.
regularly.
Yeah. If you're there a lot, like people are gonna know.
Yeah. And so they were like, yeah, we'll give you a shot.
Yeah, fuck.
And my first ever set was a 90-minute set. It was literally like
straight off the rip.
90-minute set. Flowidus was next, and I was like, oh my goodness! Like, there's no other local before me or after me. It was just me and Flowidus, and they just threw me in the deep end. 90-minute set, and that was probably the most traumatizing set I'd ever had.
Dude, I bet.
Mate, I had 3 USBs because I was so like skeptical. I was like, something's gonna happen, and it immediately happened. First USB, emergency loop, did not work.
Oh my god!
I plugged the backup into. It was a 4-deck setup, so I plugged it into another CDJ. corrupted my USB instantly, and my USB just didn't work.
What
I
the
plugged
fuck?
into the far left one, also corrupted my USB, and the
What the
far right
fuck?
USB, the far right deck. I plugged my USB into that one, and that was the only one that worked. And the link works to all my decks, and I played off that the whole night.
Oh my god!
And that happened 15 minutes into my set. So it was quiet for about 3 minutes of me trying to figure out.
Oh my god!
It was bad, man. It was so bad. But after that, it was smooth sailing.
Oh,
after
that makes me like want to go into the fetal position. just like,
Yeah.
oh my god! Just hearing that story is such a visceral reaction. Because I mean, it's like imagine hitting the Q button, but you just turned off the entire system. Like it's like so much worse.
It was cooked. It was really fun though. Like as the night went on,
Yeah.
it was good. But man, it was a very traumatizing first 20 minutes. Baptism by
100%.
fire.
It's almost like cool because the 90 minutes almost made up for themselves. The first half hour was just like, hey dude, here's a DJ lesson for the rest of your fucking career.
Yeah.
And then here's a normal hour.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like,
exactly.
You can kind of bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking sick though. Florida's off your first fucking set. That's so sick.
And this was like back when Florida's only had one EP. So they weren't even that big yet. So they were still up and coming and they were still touring. But they only had like maybe, I think 4 songs off an EP. And I think they had just released 2 singles off their second EP from Elevate. And they were promoting that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, fucking straight into it. That's so sick. I mean, to see you kind of come now. One question that is just like blaring in my head as well, which I have to ask, is like, how do you keep up with the streaming? Because like, how do you find enough music to like keep going?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like I haven't stopped thinking about that because it's like, just trying to think about like how much like do you just consume just like all the music and just like keep on download bang 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 and just like throw it in.
Yep. So when I first started out, you know, I'd been listening to drum and bass since 2009 or 10, I think, so a long time. So I had a playlist that I had all these songs that I had listened to all the way up to 2018 that I loved. That was like at least 300 songs or 200 songs.
Yeah.
And over time, I slowly downloaded basically the whole playlist. Over time. Like I couldn't drop money on all 300 songs at once, but I slowly built that out over time. And so on the drum and bass portion, it was easy. And I kind of did the same thing with trap and future bass. Because I was also really into trap and future bass for a long period of time as well. So it was, when I did my streams initially, it was multi-genre. So I'd always start with a slower BPM. So I'd always start like trap or future bass and then slowly make my way into drum and bass.
Work your way up.
Yeah, so my library kind of like ever so slowly grew around all these genres.
That makes sense.
And then as I started getting more into my niche, I was like, oh no, I do want to just stick with drum and bass. I think it was just I listened to new music every week.
Yeah.
And then I just went from there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's nice that like all the stuff that you enjoy, like if you're doing something like a stream, you do just have the freedom to just do it.
Exactly.
You don't need to create a brand. You're just like, I'm just fucking DJing, man.
Exactly. And that was the best thing about Twitch because I could do a lot of things on there that I couldn't in person in opening sets or whatever set I was booked on. With Twitch, I had so much freedom. Yeah, and it helped a lot with me as well, like refining my DJ skills.
Yeah, of course.
And just experimenting. Like a lot of my mixes and a lot of my double drops and everything that I find is basically off an experiment on Twitch.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like I just throw them together and like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll make that in my head for later.
Dude, 100%. That's literally like, I feel like you've just got to do that. And especially when you're starting, it's like, you just got to practice and just try shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I know a lot of like the doubles and stuff that I would find is like, cause I was like a lockdown DJ.
Yeah.
And I would just be like having wine in like the room. I had like a room in my backyard where we set up like little speakers. You just sit there and it's just those moments where you're DJing for like 3-4 hours straight. And you're just like, fuck, like what is the time? I have no idea. And you're just like, oh, it's a banger. Like you record it and then you listen back. You're like, oh, that fucking slaps.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that create the sets as well. That are just like so sick. So I wanted to kind of take that DJing journey and then talk about how you're fucking going with producing because you have been fucking crushing it.
Thank you.
You've been fucking absolutely crushing it. When did you start producing? Because you obviously said that you had like the classical training, you understood theory.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of transition from the DJing into that producing journey?
Yeah. So with my music, when I was going through high school and doing classical piano, there were elements of composition, and I really loved composing music. It would be like, multi-page scores with like different sections. It'd be like, I've got violins, I got pianos, I have brass, I have whatever.
Layering.
And I used to love it. I used to love just composing random crap in like Sibelius on like a really crap sounding MIDI. Exporting it and be like, that sounds sick. But it was so bad.
It's so classic, so classic.
And then when I started getting into drum and bass, I realized that people don't write electronic music using traditional sheet music. Like if they do, they would then put that through a DAW. I didn't know what a DAW was.
No, of course.
I only knew that to write music, you would notate it down and then you'd use an instrument and then you'd record it.
Yeah, cool.
But then I was like, oh, you can actually make sounds and stuff. So I started experimenting with Ableton probably pretty early on, maybe like 2012. I was so confused. I was like, oh, maybe because Ableton's hard. So then, like 2 years later, I tried FL Studio. I was like, oh, this is not any easier.
No, not at all.
And everyone kept saying it was easier. I was like, oh, it's not really that easy.
No.
And what it was I think I was so conventionally, like, I guess I was like taught so classically that it was so hard for me to like disassociate from that and then make sounds. Like, it's the same thing. There's keys and there's scales and you write and you compose, but then it's like, oh no, but you also have to make sounds. You also have to go through a synth and you have to make your sounds. You have to, there's these things called samples where there are sounds done for you and you can put them together. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is so confusing.
It's such a crazy kind of like relationship between the two as well, because you need to have that like that understanding of the theory as well as kind of like that, like the laptop music kind of theory. Because it's so funny that you say all this stuff, because like my girlfriend was very kind of classically trained too, and I would come to her with help and she was just like, dude, I don't know. Like, I'd show her like the piano roll and just be like, what do you reckon? She's just like, dude, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
like, what are you on about?
The piano roll was the most confusing thing to me because I looked at things on a sheet and I was like, why are there bars coming out of notes? It was like, it looks like Guitar Hero. And I'm like, what is this? I'm so confused.
That's such a great analogy. It really does. It really does.
So for the longest time, I was really confused. I was like, it got really frustrating for me to the point because, like, I know I can write music. Yeah. But I just can't translate it across.
Connecting the dots. Yeah.
Now, it wasn't until last year that I went into a few studio sessions. So off the back of yourshot, I became really good friends with Rido.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I was always friends with Sold Out at Gerald throughout, like, even before COVID, we'd go out to gigs together. And we just decided one day to just go over to Ridge's house one day and just start writing tracks.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And it wasn't until then that it all started to click.
Right.
Like, I'd watched, I just think I can't learn off videos because I watched so many videos on how to, like how to use Ableton and how to use FL, and I just didn't get it. But then watching them, use audio layers, MIDI layers, and then, like, putting everything together, I was like, it was so much easier than I thought it was. Overcomplicated it by just being so traditional about the way I went about it. And then from there, it started to click. And so after those sessions, like I would say maybe about 4 or 5 sessions with them, like long sessions, like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you're really hunkered in there. It's the same thing of like, what's the fucking time again?
And just watching them, how they use samples, how they manipulate like plugins like Serum, for example, to make a certain sound and etc. I was like, I get it. Like I'm starting to understand how to piece everything together. And so this year, one of my New Year's resolutions was to produce one song, like just one song, and put it out. And I ended up producing way more than one song.
Fuck yeah!
Ended up releasing my first 2 songs out on a drum and bass label. And and then that's it. Like.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's fucking sick. Because that's such a great kind of like. I really love that story as well. Kind of like you try it, you see your mates do it, and then it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it now. Yeah, and especially getting a release like you did for that, like those 2 songs. That was like fucking unreal to see. Yeah. And it was so great to see, like, even like literally today, I'm not 100% sure it's going to actually come out, except today, like, you made the drum and bass playlist for Sydney on on Spotify,
Yeah.
and it's just so cool to see people in Sydney actually releasing, actually doing
Yeah.
stuff. It's just fucking sick. It's
Yeah.
so great to see.
And there's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
when I was building the playlist, I would say maybe about 30 or 40 of the songs I put in were top of my head of artists I knew that were releasing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the reason why I made that playlist was like before this, I was like looking for inspiration locally. Like I was really hunting for vocalists because a lot of my songs require vocalists.
Yeah.
And I was like, at the time, I was like, man, there is no one spot for like all these Sydney people. And I know there are a lot of Sydney producers and I know there are a lot of good Sydney vocalists.
Yeah.
I was like, but it's so hard for me to find. Like I can't piece them together right now. Like I know I've seen them perform live. I just right now I can't picture them. And so I was like, why don't I just make a playlist, chuck everyone in on it?
Yeah,
and,
literally.
And that's just a one-stop shop for, what Sydney has to offer.
No, 100%. No, and I think that's so cool. It really is just cool to kind of see. Yeah, it's just like Sydney's just becoming an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's like, because I've said this so many times in this fucking podcast, but it's like it's just the whole scene. It's like, because laundry was laundry is laundry. Like that was just like the thing. It was like kind of like, this is the top of the game and that's all there is. But now because it's so spread, there's so much more accessibility for everything and all the niches and like rhythm and dance floor, UKG, 140 now. Like it's fucking going on. It's fucking sick.
It's awesome.
But I want to take it back as well. I want to ask about your shot last year.
Yes.
And I want to talk about
boys.
what it was like. I want to talk about what that was like from obviously taking home the win to then playing Chasing Summer.
Yeah.
Fucking unreal. How hard was it to choose a festival to play?
So firstly, you don't actually get to choose.
Really?
It's a common
this is what we're here for, the behind the scenes.
Yeah, so there's a
shit.
common misconception that you get to choose your festival, so you don't. So basically what happens afterwards is you basically make a promo mix and they send it out to the festivals, and then the festivals choose you based off your promo mix.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so when they're curating their lineups, they'll be like, oh, this person will actually be good for the lineup.
So does that mean you're still secured to play though, right?
I already played. I'm back.
Yeah. Oh no, as in like, but I think what I no.
Oh yes, yeah. You're guaranteed to play. Yeah.
So it's like, and what I meant by that was like you can't just send your promo mixes out
and then it doesn't get picked up. No.
Yeah,
you
that
will
would
play
be fucked.
something. Yeah.
The next question has to be, where's all the Red Bull at? Did you drink it all?
I have
the Red Bull.
I have 1.5 cases left out of 14 cases.
So there's 14 cases.
There was 14 cases, which I distributed to friends and family. And now I think I kept for myself 3 cases, and I've only gone through half of that. So.
Right.
Before every night out, I have 1 can. So,
yeah, come on. You're going to get fucking spiked.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice, dude. That's sick. So what was that experience like? Because I know obviously you went through a couple trials and tribulations while you were playing. I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen. I saw like the videos and everything.
Yeah.
Like the weather wasn't the best for you.
No.
But leading up to that, what was it like kind of like getting the flight, getting over there, getting to the festival, being an artist? Like, did you get like an artist lanyard?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. What was that feeling like kind of like being an artist at this event?
It was really cool. So it was the first time I had to check in. Like they had a back entrance. I was like, and you get escorted into the back entrance. Like they sorted out my transfer from the hotel to the back entrance. Got to the back entrance, they gave me an envelope and they're like, here's your lanyard, here's your media pass and your whatever. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then when I got in, they escorted me to my green room. So every artist that played had their own room. And then I was like, I just saw my name stuck on a door and I opened it.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
There were some drinks, there was some snacks, had my own bathroom.
Oh, shit.
So for context, Chasing Summer is hosted in a car park of a hockey arena. And it was massive. So in the car park, they had the stages set up, and then all the green rooms were in the hockey arena, but they were all in dressing rooms. So all the individual dressing rooms
were
the artist green rooms. So we had a shower, we had a toilet.
That's kind of cool.
It was really cool.
It's like a cool kind of vibe though, I feel like.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, seems a bit random, but then I feel like getting in there just kind of be like, because you do have a shower, it's well maintained, it's like nice, it's clean. It's like, oh, fine, this is like a bit of me right now.
It's really nice. And then the actual festival was really cool. The acts were sick. Like we had Millennium, ISOXO, Dead Mouse. Levity,
dude.
So many crazy acts. Apache. Oh my goodness. Apache was crazy.
Was Apache your favorite, do you reckon?
I think Apache was my favorite. It would have been Apache and then ISO.
Nice. Yeah, ISO is like doing so much shit now.
Yeah.
Taking the whole fucking world by the trap bollocks.
Yeah.
Like,
for real.
like, this is trap.
Yeah,
Fuck,
legit. So leading up to my set, it was really cool. I was really nervous. And I got up there. And they were like, they checked me in and they were like, oh yeah, you'll be on in 5, blah, blah, blah. Got up on stage, plugged in. And I played for about 15 minutes. And then all I heard was the guy behind me that was running the stage. He was like, oh, we have to cut you because literally a massive strike of lightning had hit very close to the venue. Like less than a kilometer away, like on the ground. And they were like, for safety, we need to cut everything. Whole festival shut down. And if this was Sydney, that'd be it. Like, I don't know what would happen. Like, you'd go home.
Yeah.
But they had a contingency plan. So that hockey arena opens up. They flood like tens and thousands of people into the hockey arena.
Oh, because it's undercover, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an undercover. It's an ice hockey arena.
Oh.
So it's indoors.
Right.
So they're all just in the grandstands and they're in the stadium. And I was like, this is so cool. And then maybe 20 minutes after, they were like, the weather's died down, that storm cloud has moved away, you can go back up.
Yeah.
Festival reopened, everyone went out, I went up, played for another 10 minutes, boom, another massive storm comes through. I'm like, so annoying. But you know what, the whole experience was great. It was just a really fun festival, and it was just cool to see. Like, this was my first festival outside of Sydney.
Yeah.
And Perth, actually. So I've been to Perth, I've been to Sydney, been to music festivals there. I'd never done one outside of Australia.
Yeah, right.
And just like the way it's organized is like next level. Like that night, right, when we were leaving, like when you leave a festival in Sydney, it's like trains are this way, Ubers are this way, it's a mess. Like it's always there's so many people flooding on the streets, whatever.
Just to remind as well, this isn't Chasing Someone's in Canada.
Canada, it's in Calgary.
Yeah.
And so they had basically the same thing. They had signs for trains, but then after parties, they had shuttle buses that if you were going to a specific after party, because that night, like every night there was an after party. So I just remember there was an Millennium after party, an Apache after party.
Oh my God. Fuck.
Plateau. They all had after parties. You would go to the shuttle bus line. They would have dedicated lines for each artist's after party. And you'd load onto that bus and you're just straight. They just take you there for free. Straight to
oh my God.
Straight to the afters.
Go.
They booked, I swear, the whole taxi rank as well. So if you weren't getting a train home, there was a taxi line and it moved so quickly. So there were cops there.
Right.
I shit you not, hundreds of taxis. That whole road was closed.
God. They were just going.
4 lanes. Just taxis moving one by one, and there'd be cops there to direct you, and they'd be like, all right, you in that taxi, your group in that taxi, your group in that taxi. And it moved. There was no traffic out. Everything just flowed out well. And I was like, this is what a well-organized and well-thought-out...
This is what it can be.
This is what it can be.
It doesn't have to be a slap and fuck around, just like leave.
Legit.
It's like lights on, out of here.
I was like, this is like crazy.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
it just, everything just logistically before the festival, during the festival, even during a disaster, like a not natural disaster, but bad weather.
Yeah.
And then even post-event, it was also intricately thought out. And I was just like, this is so cool to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, even look at, like, I know, like, I'm not a big techno head, but I know my brother went to pitch in Melbourne. And, like, this year, that was just, like, got cancelled. And then, like, apparently the first night they stopped at 11 because they were like, it's going to be hot tomorrow.
Yeah.
So everyone gets some rest. And, like, people were, like, fucked. People were just like, what? And they were just like, yeah, no, it's over, actually. They were just like, what the fuck, dude? And then anywhere else that like actually gives a single fuck about a festival can actually just be like, all right, we do this, bit of lighting, we'll go in here. Like, it's fine. It doesn't have to be such a fuck around.
Yeah.
But that's sick, though. That sounds like such a crazy experience. Which after party did you go to? Did you go to all of them?
I went to none of them because I was cooked. So before the festival, I did a 1-week road trip in Banff.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I was like hiking every day, and then I got
Fuck,
to the
dude.
festival, and I'm like, nah, man, I can't do this. I didn't go.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
I
after like,
sleep.
oh yeah, dude. Especially after if you're like living out of a van as well. That's fucking hectic.
it
You're
was
just
so
like,
rough.
yeah. You're just like, fuck this, man. You
Yeah.
think I'm gonna? No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm good.
That's sick though. That's sick. I want to ask you as well because I want to take a little pivot as well. Talk about something I'm always fascinated by is kind of asking people kind of what's like, so when you're going to make a song,
Yeah.
what's your workflow? Where do you like to start? Where do you get inspiration from?
Yeah.
I always find it interesting because everyone always kind of has like a different kind of place they start, different place they end, different place they kind
Yeah.
of get inspiration from. So how about yourself? What do you do?
I find with my music especially, everything has at least one kind of vocal sample. Whether it's actual full lyrics and like a full phrase of words, or whether it's like, you know, a single word or like 5 words or 4 words.
Yeah.
So I always scour for a vocal sample first.
Yeah.
That I really like. So I'll find a vocal sample first, and then I'll be like, oh, this sounds cool. What key is it in? I'll find out what key it's in, and then I will literally base my whole track around that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I've literally done every single production I've done to date. And that sample doesn't necessarily stay there. So sometimes I just cut the sample out completely, then just becomes an instrumental track.
Yeah.
Or I will cut the sample out, and then I'll actually get a real vocalist to come in and fill it out. But that's where I normally start. I find it difficult to start on a chord or a synth sound or whatever. I always start from a vocal sample. It's really weird. Start from there,
that's fair enough.
and then I build up the whole track. And whether the vocal sample stays in that track or not, we'll see. But
Well,
I literally base tracks all around that.
No, 100%.
And like the last, I would say, I think I've finished. I'm probably sitting on about 10 like fully finished tracks at the moment.
Fuck yeah, that's a good
Like
number.
full
Double
mastered.
digits.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I would say only maybe 4 of them have kept the original sample that I started the track with, and the other 6 have either got a new vocalist, no sample, or something completely different. But yeah, always start from one vocal sample.
Yeah.
And build a track up from that.
I think that's really good. I think that's a really good way to do it as well, because like there's just so many as well.
Yeah.
Like you don't need anything good. Just find something.
Exactly.
Literally anything. Because it can just give you any sort of like little kind of hit.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I was right, and then get a new one.
Yeah.
And like you said, get a vocalist in.
Yeah. I find that building melodies off vocals very easy. Like, I if I had to sit down and come up with a melody from scratch, it's really hard to make it not sound cheesy.
Well, melodies have to like support something too. Melodies, you need it to, like, you need something to build around. Like you always need that, whether even if it's like drums, whether it's like anything that inspires you. It's like melodies need to kind of be supporting something.
Yeah.
Like melodies by themselves, I think are always just gonna sound cheesy.
Yeah.
I think you're very lucky. I think you're fucking pretty good if you can make a melody not sound cheesy by itself.
Yeah.
But how do you personally kind of find time to like balance between like working and producing? Because like you're grinding, bro. Like 10 songs, that's fucking good. That's solid. That's what you want. So how do you kind of find the time to balance, and how do you manage that for you?
Yeah. So the way I produce at the moment is I don't touch Ableton until I have a random idea in my head.
Yeah.
And so and that spawns in 2 ways. Some days I will just, after work, when I'm not feeling so like, oh, I still have a bit of brain capacity, I could sprawl through Splice or any other kind of sample pack that I've got downloaded, and I'll just listen through them. Or it's literally a spur of the moment, like for whatever reason I have like, oh, there's this sound in my head. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
But I'll record it into my phone.
Yeah.
And then I go back, look for a vocal sample, and like, oh yeah, this might sound good with that sound I just came up with, and then I'll do it. Yeah. I found that a lot of the tracks that I've started and finished have all been in the span of 1 day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like like the best songs I produce are the ones that are done within like 2 to 4 hours.
Dude, no, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's like when you want to work yourself around hitting that fucking fucking stream.
Yeah.
So when you go, you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just hit it, you're just fucking nailing it.
Yeah, and once you're in that state of flow, it's like so easy. But if I'm grinding at a song, like, and I keep working on it like for hours and hours, and then it generally doesn't result to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right, because I know I take a similar approach where it's just like, if you feel yourself just like smacking your head against a wall, not like trying to force something, it's gonna suck. Yeah. It will suck. Like you can't, like, it's never gonna be good in that situation. And like you said, like anyone who's like made any sort of any song, it's just like, you know that when you kind of hit a flow, it's good. Yeah. Even if it's like you're done in like a day and like not fully done, whatever, but it's like you've got it. You've got it. But yeah, no, I think that's really valuable as well for people to like understand, especially because it's like once you kind of do that once or twice, it's about learning how to like get to that point. Yeah. Not necessarily just in music, but like in your life as well. Absolutely. So I always love getting people's insight into that. So I want to take a break from this interview. All right. We've been talking beforehand, right? So we're going to try a segment. This is the first segment on this fucking podcast.
Debut segment, baby.
Debut segment. So you don't actually know this new edition I made.
All right, cool.
The game is frogs, bass, or Joe Rogan. Oh. All right. So I have made I think there's like 18. You have to decide whether the sample is a bass sound, whether it's a frog that I've resampled, or whether it's Joe Rogan that I've resampled.
Okay. God.
So anyone listening at home can play along, because I'm gonna edit in the actual sounds. So all right. So you're at a little bit of a disadvantage just out of the fact.
I believe in is it a Lenovo?
It's a Lenovo, baby.
I believe in the Lenovo laptop speakers.
2020. Yeah, I can move towards you a little bit even.
Full frequency range.
It's got
subs and everything.
All right. Yeah. So here's what I reckon we're gonna do. Yeah. I'm gonna take a note of what you say. Okay. And then I'm gonna tell you at the end how many you got right.
Okay.
All right. So here's the first sound.
What?
Would you like another one?
Yeah, give me one more. I'm gonna say bass.
Okay. That's number one. All right, here's number two. Would you like it again?
Yeah. Frog.
Okay. Here's number three. Would you like it again?
Yeah. Oh man. Joe Rogan.
Okay. All right.
This is hard.
Is it, dude? I took it too far. Like, dude,
but this is good. This is good.
I spent like an hour doing these, and then even if you want, I could take you through the post processing I did. Sounds so stupid. All right. Here's number 4. Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan.
If you made that bass off Joe Rogan, that is very impressive.
We'll go through them all. We'll go through them all at the end. I am keen to go through them though, because I'm keen to see how many you get. Yeah. All right. Next one. This is number 5.
Okay, that's Joe Rogan.
Yeah, nah, that's fucking fair enough.
Yeah. Now I'm doubting my other Joe Rogan. But anyway, we ball. We ball.
We move. All right. Next one.
Bass.
Bass. All right. This is number 7.
Bass.
Bass. Number 8.
Frog.
All right. Number 9. We're about halfway, I think.
Yeah. Frog.
Let's switch on. This is happening. You're on fucking rapid fire right now.
Joe Rogan.
Okay. Keeps on trying to change on my phone Joe Rogan to Joe Rohan. I'm like, can you just fucking not right now? Can you just not? So annoying. So annoying. All right. Number 11.
Oh, God. Play that one again.
because I have resampled the basses as well. Like I have resampled everything because the part of the game is the fact that I've tried to make the basses sound like the other. That's why I got really carried away with it because I was just like, how can I make like a sound just sound like a frog or sound like you know what I mean? So stupid, bro.
Oh God, I'm gonna say Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Would you like to hear it one more time anyway?
No, I'm gonna lock it in.
Go for it.
I think it's Joe Rogan.
All right. You know what would actually be fun is I'll show you the original samples after as well.
Yeah, I forget.
Oh shit! Wait, sorry, my bad. All right, number 12.
Yeah. Frog.
Frog.
Although I'm hardly doubting myself. Could be Joe Rogan, but I'm gonna go frog.
I like it. I love the what's it called? It's confidence.
Confidence.
Fuck me. Am I gonna need to edit that out? Because I sound like a fucking idiot. All right, 13.
Joe Rogan.
All right. Next one.
Yep. Bass.
All right, so that was 14. 15 is here.
Bass.
All right. 16.
Bass.
All right, 17.
Bass.
All right. And then I threw this one in.
Oh.
I couldn't help myself.
Is that Joe Rogan? Does Joe Rogan make that?
You know, I literally looked up the Joe Rogans. I was just like Joe Rogan making animal noises.
Oh my goodness.
And I've
so funny.
Dude, I found some shit. All right, do you want to see how you went?
Give it to me.
All right. First one.
Yeah.
Bass. Do you want me to play them again as we go through?
Go for it.
All right. Well, here. Well, I'll tell you the ones you got wrong. All right.
Yeah.
So first one, bass.
Yeah.
Right. 2, you said frog.
Yeah.
You were fucking right.
Sick.
3, you said Joe Rogan. It was a bass.
Damn.
Yeah, that was this one.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Number 4, you said Joe Rogan. You were right.
Yeah, boy.
Number 5, you said Joe Rogan. You were right.
Yeah, boy.
6, you said bass. You were fucking right. You were fucking on point, dude.
Mate.
Number 7, you said bass. It was Joe Rogan.
Oh,
That was that one.
damn it.
You know, I actually did try putting like 9 OTTs on, and it just did not work. I really tried for a second.
9 honestly just sounded like a 4-minute filter to me.
It was like, we're here because 9 was what I did was here's the original sample, right? Oh wait, no. So here, let me turn off the effects.
Yeah.
Here. Wait, I gotta fucking reroute it because there's just like one OTT bus I put everything through.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's Joe Rogan
That's
making
Joe
a
Rogan.
sound. Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is.
Your next song has to use that.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them slapped. Some of them slapped really hard. I was like, I could make some of this into like fucking dubstep. I swear to God. I was like, holy shit.
All right.
Okay. So 7, you said bass.
Yeah.
It was Joe Rogan.
Damn it.
8, you said frog. You were right.
Yes.
9, you said frog. You were fucking right.
Yeah, boy.
10, you said Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
It was Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
11, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. Dude, you were fucking on point for some of these. I was like, oh shit, dude. You were fucking bang, bang, bang. All right. 12, you said frog. You were right.
Yes, sir.
12, you said frog. Wait.
We just did 12. 13.
No, yeah, no. I'm trying to, my brain can't keep up reading all these fucking numbers.
13.
So 13, you said Joe Rogan. It was frog.
Damn it.
That was that one. Damn. A lot of these just have like, do you know sausage fattener?
Yes.
Dude, I just cranked both the knobs and I was just like,
This is awesome.
it's so fucking
good.
aggressive. For 14, you
Yeah.
said bass.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yes, sir.
For 15, you also said bass. You were right.
Yeah.
For 16, you said bass. It was frog.
Damn.
That was this one.
Oh, that's really
Dude,
good.
right? How fucking
That's
fat is
really
that
good.
sustain? Dude, because hold
That's
on,
good.
what did I put on it? Dude, it's so fat, right? Because all it did was like what I noticed was like some of the frog sounds were almost like a saw, like a fucking
Yeah.
saw wave.
Yeah.
And it just like it has the like so once you crush it, dude, it sounds fat.
That's
So like
awesome.
I think we've just discovered that like you can use frog sounds and Joe Rogan to make fucking tunes, dude. You can fucking do it.
That's awesome.
All right, and then 17, you said bass.
Yeah.
It was Joe Rogan.
Damn it. Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what he was doing. This all started as well because all I wanted was to get one clip of Joe Rogan going like, oh, oh. You seen the monkey clip?
Yeah.
Yeah. All I wanted was the monkey clip. And then I ended up just going
You went down a rabbit hole.
Dude, I couldn't stop. And then this one was obviously Joe Rogan. You know what that was as well?
No.
That was him doing an impression of Moose's fucking. Dude, he was doing like Moose mating calls. I was just like, bro, what the fuck is that?
That's awesome.
Your final score is 13 out of 18.
I'll take it. That's a pass. I'll take it. We take those. Please get degrees, baby.
Bro, that's a distinction, bro. You serious, dude? You fucking crushed that shit. No, dude, you fucking crushed that shit.
You know what you need now? You need a leaderboard. And then...
Oh my God, that's so true.
And then you should just track it.
Dude, because this was actually easier to do than I thought. Because all I had to do was find one video of one compilation of frogs doing their thing and just go through them. And then like I just go through my fucking folder anyway and just like grab some random shit, dude. Like I got enough dubstep and shit in here and like drum and bass that it's just like you just fucking throw it together, dude. But like no, that's fucking you usually fucking crush that. I was kind of surprised about how well you did. Because you were rocketing some of those out. You were fucking absolutely rocketing some of those out.
I was dialed in, man.
No, you were fucking. You were
just needed
switched on. Bro.
Needed the first 4 as a warm up, and I was like, "Oh,
dude." Then you were in, bro. You were
so locked in.
Fucking love that, dude. Because I reckon I'm gonna try that so much more. Because it's like. I always think about, I mean, it's so funny because I always think about this podcast and I think about Hamish and Andy and I think about like all those kinds of shit, like the segments.
Yeah.
Dude, Hamish and Andy is just so fucking funny. How long have you like, do you like listen to them every Thursday?
I listen to it every Thursday.
Dude. That's like my favorite thing about Thursday.
It's so good.
Dude, I'm so here for it. Everyone needs to get into, if you don't listen to Hamish and Andy,
what are you doing?
Leave.
Like, seriously, what are you doing?
Leave. Leave. Just fuck off.
It's the best podcast ever.
It literally is. It literally fucking is. Are there any other podcasts you're into too? Is Hamish and Andy like your big one?
Hamish and Andy is my biggest one. And then when they're not on, I listen to Remembering Project. And then when I finish that,
dude,
I'm really into, I'm into like tech podcasts. So I like MKBHD. I forget what his podcast is called. Waveform.
I haven't heard that one. That's really, cool though.
Him and his team just talk about like what's new in tech every week. I really like that. Got off true crime podcasts.
Dude, I went through a phase there as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you go through a phase. I remember I'd come home, like tell my girlfriend, she's like, dude, there was this crazy story about like these like 3 children that got like, and then she was like, hey, I don't think that's good for like your brain. And I was just like, what do you mean?
It's so interesting.
But I just didn't know. And then after a while, I just started to get sad. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time to stop. It's time to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you ever listen to Lex Friedman?
Nah.
Dude, you should have a listen to him, especially like tech and things, because he's the biggest nerd of like new fucking technology because he works at MIT.
Oh, cool.
That's almost like my way of keeping up with like technology.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he just talks about like AI and I get scared and I turn it off. It's like, fuck. What are your thoughts on AI and coming into music as well? Or just AI in general?
I think AI in general, is pretty cool in the sense that I actually, in the technological advancement is insane to me. Because if you told me this 5 years ago to where it is now, I would not have like thought how fast we've come.
No.
I literally would have thought that AI needed supercomputers or whatever at some point. But now literally every freaking thing has AI integrated in it in some way, shape, or form. And so I think it's really cool on a technological aspect on how far it's growing. In terms of for music, I'm in 2 minds. The first mind is, for me as a producer, I have a song coming out with Gerald, Sold Out. So I have a song coming out with Sold Out on Right Records in about 2 weeks.
Yes.
And the beginning intro, we have AI generated a news reporter. Because I've added a lot of atmospheres and a lot of things in the production that make it sound like it's a riot outside and like there's a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I really wanted like a news anchor, and I didn't want to speak and manipulate myself, but we got an AI generated, and that was really cool. So for stuff like that, like I really like that for production. Like I can, help get certain little bits that I probably couldn't have before. But then on the opposite side is what I'm most scared of AI and kind of like where I kind of draw the line is like not knowing where the boundary is.
Yeah.
Because like the thing that scares me the most, I think, is kind of like how good deep faking has gotten.
Yeah.
And like manipulating voices.
Yeah.
Like I've heard like, people like basically straight swapping Kanye's voice or like just making other people's voice. Like it's cool to see that technology can do that. But there has to be a line that you have to draw.
When you give it to like
that.
fucking Jerry down the road and like
Yeah.
he's not the best guy. Like it's just like anyone can use it and anyone can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
in terms of like AI making music, now I at the same time I'm like, it's cool to see like you chuck in prompts and then it kind of makes songs. Obviously, like most of the ones that come out, they sound like trash, but like, maybe 3-4 years time, they're going to be fully mixed and mastered and that's how amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm not too concerned on that front because you'll lose, I guess you don't have the substance of human creativity into it.
Yeah.
And it's always never going to sound, I think personally, as full. Like it might sound good, it might sound professional, it might sound like a track that like you can prompt it. Oh, I want this track to sound like a David Guetta production or whatever, and it will sound like a David Guetta production. But and it might be good enough for radio play. But But all the artists that are successful and they make signature sounds and everything else, like there needs to be a kind of human intervention into that.
Yeah, or like an emotion kind of captured through it and like some sort of like message being conveyed through it.
Like even like Subfocus, when he produces, like his signature sound all comes from like stacks and racks of like analog synths and everything else. And he puts his little flavor into it. When you hear a sound and when you hear a song, you're like, oh, I know this is X. Whereas I feel like with AI generated music, like I'm sure you can make a song and be like, oh yeah, I want my next song to sound like that and the next song to sound like that. And it might sound consistent and it might sound professional, but it's never going to have that little bit of signature sound touch. In all these like top 1% or top 5% of artists, and they're making their music, like that's what you remember them for. And so I'm kind of like in two worlds. I'm like, I hate that you can just make music from a prompt and it sounds good. And then I also, I also love the creative aspects that come from it. So, but that's with everything. Like I love and hate. Everything. Like at one point, I feel like AI as an instrument, like if you treat AI as an instrument of like something to generate sounds for you or to help you achieve a certain atmosphere or sound design or something, that's cool. But if it's writing full songs for you, I'm like, and like stealing people's voices and stealing people's for that in there.
Of course. I think it's like, because I always have a lot to say about it as well. Because it's like, I think I'm in a similar kind of boat to you where it's like, it's going to happen.
Yes.
It's there.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
The more you fight it, the more you're just going to get left behind.
Exactly.
You got to figure out your way of being able to use it and almost like using your own creativity to be able to use it and like figure it out and figure out your own way to find yourself in this new evolving kind of world. And you're right where it's like there is that kind of like transitional period where the rules are kind of like all over the place. It's like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, oh, this guy's like literally like got this other person's voice and is like using it and like this and that and the other thing. It's just like, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the boundary needs to be crossed a few times and needs to be called out, and then we can establish from there. But until
that's the same with everything. I mean, like you give people cars, you don't give them seatbelts. It's like, okay, too many people die, put in seatbelts. So it's like it's just kind of how it works. You have the safety precautions going in through people fucking it up. But I'm absolutely in the same boat as you, where it's just kind of like, it's here, dude. What are you gonna do about it? You're not gonna shut down AI.
No.
Like, what are you gonna do?
No.
About it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Like, you're not the Terminator, bro. You're
no,
not gonna
exactly.
shut it down.
Yeah.
But no, that's really cool. That's really fucking insightful too. But man, I think we've hit the time pretty fucking perfectly. I think that like Absolutely fucking loved having you on, mate. I really
man.
loved that you were able to fucking be the first segment. The first segmentee.
It was very fun.
Nah,
Absolutely
mate, it was
enjoyed
really fun having you on. And actually, by the time this comes out, your song's gonna be out.
Yeah, awesome.
So everyone, fucking play it, stream it, listen to it,
It's gonna
put
be
it
out
on repeat.
November 8th, right? Is this coming out?
This will be out by November 8th.
Cool.
Yeah.
November 8th. Stream
Actually,
it.
I'm gonna here's what here I'll plan this. This can come out exactly on it, November 8th.
Sick.
Today, stream it today.
Stream it right
today.
now.
Stream it right
Right now.
This will be out by the time.
Song's called "Shut Down" by Sold Out and Streetflicker,
Shut
featuring
Down.
Young Jakey.
Fuck
Get
yeah,
on it.
go stream that shit. All right,
Sick.
man. Fuck yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Dude, no fucking.